So I had a really interesting happening this morning. I was standing outside my house, and I was urinating, and I heard a cough from my neighbor. And my neighbor is usually not on the porch at that time. He's usually inside his house because he's getting ready to go to work. And then I said to myself, like, well, if he's not going to work and it's Monday, he most likely got fired. Because if the company that hired him, that he works for, if they were experiencing loss from this coronavirus and they were losing money as a corporation, he would most likely be the first person to get fired. Because he's a very unlikable character. He's not very good socially. And he's very, very strange. He has these weird isms. You could tell that he's like, I don't know if he's mentally ill or not, but there's something off about him. I only talked to him once, and I didn't really enjoy the conversation. Because he was just, it was something off. And usually I really enjoy talking to mentally ill people. But you could tell that he didn't like people. You know, like when somebody doesn't like people, kind of get a shitty vibe from those people. Like, even though, like, you know, like I want to kill people, I still love people. Like, it's a really weird fucking thing. Like if I jump on a bus, like I love talking to people. I love being around people. If I go into Walmart, like, I'll chat people up. I fucking love being around people. Like, I think people are fucking awesome. Like, I don't dislike people. You know, so if I'm talking to anyone, like, I always come across like I love that person. And I want to be around them. You know, and that's why I have so many people in my life, or so many people gravitate to me, because they get that energy, they feel that vibe. They're like, oh, well, Joe likes me. You know, like, Joe's here for me, and he listens to me, and he's a good listener. Unless I see if they're like a predator. If somebody's predatorial, or they're trying to be controlling, I just fucking go into that evil bastard that I was into, you know, video 94. Like that guy. I go into that guy. Because, like, I start to understand who I'm speaking with. And I just fucking destroy them. Because I let them know who I am. And I know that they know. They know. And their personality changes immediately. Because they think when they enter the conversation, say the conversation, they think they might be talking to an agreeable person, or somebody that could be manipulated or controlled. And then once you show them that that is not the case, then they get all sheepish. Like, they're like, oh fuck. And then they just leave immediately. Usually they could tell from a distance that you're not to be fucked with, just by your body posture, your body language. 95% of all of our communication is through body language. That's why nobody ever fucks with me, because I've studied a lot of body language, and, like, you just don't fuck with me. But if a person that's a predator, or somebody that is not very present and unaware of certain body languages or facial expressions, or usually it happens when usually I get approached more by predators when I'm in a very good mood. Like, if I'm very, like, loving and I'm very nice, I get more you know, I get attracted to, predators are more drawn to me because they think I'm like a soft person, a loving person. So usually I attract predators when I'm in a very good mood, which is really shitty for me because, like, as soon as they come towards me and I realize that they're a predator, immediately I'm like, ah, fuck, I was too happy. I was too goddamn nice looking. You know, like, my body posture wasn't as, like, you know, like, as stern, confident, I will rip your fucking head off, because I was happy. I was feeling loving. I was present. So when the predator approaches me, and I start to interact with the predator, I'm like, oh, fuck. It's because he approached me because he saw me as this loving, nice, cute, happy-go-lucky guy. Because I wasn't in my fucking, like, aha, destruction, fucking confident stance. So I'm like, ah, man. So I just fucking, you know, I have to shift my personality. And I have to change into that fucking, like, psychopath from video 94 that you saw yesterday. And I don't like to do that. So what that teaches me is I can never be happy. And I can never be loving. Because, you know, there's so many fucking predators out there now, and narcissists out there now and shit like that, that they will fucking be attracted to you if you look too loving or happy or present or nice or cute or whatever the fuck it is, or bashful or whatever the fuck it is. And they'll, like, be drawn to you, and fucking, you gotta deal with that shit now. I was just watching this narcissist video. This video on narcissism that my buddy made. And it's just like, ugh. You know, I'm sick of seeing women getting abused by these fucking narcissists. And a lot of the reasons why they're getting fucking abused so much is because they're too fucking agreeable. And they just put up with these fucking asshole shit. You know, and it's just like, and I think a lot of it is because they came from shit homes where they were neglected or abused or whatever the case may be. So they're trying to, like, fix these people, or they're trying to give them another chance. So they put up with their shit, and they put up with their shit, and they put up with their shit, until finally they're like, they snap, and then they're like, I can't deal with this fucking narcissist anymore, I'm out. But it's just like the fact that they have to deal with all that shit because they, like, come from an abusive home or a neglectful home, and they're used to it. They're used to that. They're used to that treatment, or they're used to that way of being, whatever, like, treatment or whatever. It's so familiar that they stick with that person for way too fucking long, you know. And like, it drives me fucking nuts when, like, I hear these stories from these women that deal with these narcissists. And because it's not the woman's fault, it's the parents that raised the woman. You know, because they raised them to take that abuse and that neglect. You know, and I just, like, I want to, like, fucking just change the goddamn world. You know, and the way to change the world is to fix the goddamn parents. You know, before you have kids, read some fucking psychology books. Read some child psychology books. Read some unconditional loving psychology books that Bert agreed with me. Read some spirituality books. Learn how to be in the present moment. Learn how to heal and fix your own trauma. Learn how to heal and fix your own childhood abuse or whatever issues you had from childhood. Before you have a child. Before you have a baby and bring a child into this world. So you won't be controlling, and you won't be neglectful, and you won't be abusive. So, really, all these women out there that date these fucking narcissists, it's like, it's because of your fucking parents and the way you were brought up. You know, and a lot of it comes, and it stems from the fact that, like, we try to fucking fix people, or we try to save people. You know, I dated a lot of fucking people that neglected me and abused me, and you know, I even was with some, like, narcissist. Because, like, I was trying to, you know, save people. And, you know, finally, you wake up from that shit. And that was like the video that I watched this morning on, you know, my friend Sarah did a video this morning on, you know, dating a narcissist, and she went through the same shit. She got to the point where she's like, I can't save anybody. You know, like, I can't deal with this person anymore, and, like, I don't want to make this mistake again. And, like, you know, but, you know, a lot of the times we need to go through the suffering to learn from it, right? But in order to learn from the suffering, you know, you have to be awakened. You have to, like, reach a state of awakening, right? So, but how are you going to reach the stage of awakening? That's the tough part. That's the tough part. It's like, how do you go through the stage of awakening? And I think that's, you know, that's what billions of people around the world are trying to figure out. Is it by, you know, going into spirituality and being present more? Is it by, you know, studying dialectical behavior therapy, DBT? Is it by, you know, healing, you know, your trauma or your childhood issues from the past? You know, I think it's essentially all three of those. You know, doing DBT, CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, spirituality, learning how to be present so you make the correct choices in the present moment, and you also really dabble as much as humanly possible in psychology so you could heal any issues from childhood. I think it's a combination of all four of those, truly. And having experiences in your own personal life and learning from those experiences. But I see way too many people getting abused and taken advantage of in this life. And a lot of it stems from them not having confidence. Lack of confidence is the worst thing that you could have in this world. It's by far the worst thing in the world. If you don't have confidence, people will just continually walk all over you. The reason why it gets to the point where nobody ever fucks with me is because I come off as an extremely confident person. But however, I don't know if that's fucking real or not. That might be just a character I created. I think internally, who I am, my core being, I was doing this really heavy dose of butter marijuana tea with this one girl once. And I mean, it was so strong, I thought she, like, put some acid in it. And we were sitting together, and we were talking for probably 5 hours. And we were really into it. Like, I mean, like, we were, like, toe in, and she was talking, and I was talking. And in those 5 hours, I was so far gone, and, like, I was going into all my characters, all my different personalities. I was going into the aggressive man. I was going into the confident person. I was going into the 3-year-old. I was going into however fucking many characters that I have that have helped me survive this life. Whether they're coping mechanisms or defense mechanisms. But I have all these characters within me. I think everybody that has borderline personality disorder has a lot of characters within them that help them cope or survive. They're defense mechanisms or coping mechanisms. And we all have, like, multiple personalities, right? So, every morning I sit on the floor. That's a fucking awesome bird. So, every morning I sit on the floor. And, like, this morning I woke up at 4:06 in the morning, like 4:06 a.m. And from 4:06 a.m. to about 6:30, I just sat on the floor. And I was just present, and I was in the state of being. And, you know, sometimes I would have thought, and I would figure out the thought, and I would go through the thought. But I was creation, I was existence, I was present, I was aware, I was awakened. And all things just were at peace and clicked and made sense. And when I was doing the butter tea with that girl, I also was that character as well. And after about 5 hours of her and I talking, she like looked at me and she was very confused. And she's like, you keep changing on me, like because she was doing the same thing I was. It's like she was drinking the butter fucking, tea. And she looked at me and she's like, you keep changing on me. She's like, your face keeps changing. Like your facial expressions, you just keep changing. She's like, who are you? And it was the first time we ever really hung out. And I was like, well, I have all these people inside me. Like, there's so many different people inside me that I use and I become. And she's like, well, which one's the real you? And I said, the real me is the person that sits on my floor every morning from 4:09 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. before I see people. And when I'm just present, and I am the stillness, and I am creation, and I am connected to all things. And that is who I really am. And essentially, at everybody's core, that is who everybody really is. All the other layers, all the other personalities that we develop for coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, conditioning, cultural experiences, environmental experiences, whatever they are, they're developed after the womb. Inside the womb, we are that person that I am on my floor every morning from 4:09 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Even deeper than that, even more still, even more awakened, even more connected to creation and all things when you're in the womb. But once you come out of that womb, you have all these things that you need to face, that you're being challenged by. And you have to develop all these different coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms in order to survive and learn and grow. Unfortunately, those things could be negative, because you have to defend yourself against predators. You have to fight against harmful things, harmful people. You can't be loving all the time because you're afraid that you're going to be abused, or somebody's going to take advantage of you, or somebody's going to control you. So you have to grow teeth, and you have to become a civilized monster. Sorry, Jordan Peterson, I stole that line from you. But it's also not good, because it takes you away from who you really are. And who you really are is just the stillness and creation, and connected to all things. And you're the present moment in your existence. You don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to be a certain person. Like you are the plant, you are the tree. You're everything, and and I think that's why I enjoy rabbits and ants and jumping spiders and squirrels and birds much more than humans. Because when I'm around them, I could be my true self, the person I am from 4:09 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. But when I get around people, I have to jump into all these fucking characters. whether it's the confident guy, whether I feel abused by them, or they trigger me, and I become the 3-year-old that is still in that trauma state. What to do with the people. You know, if you were born in a family that never really abused you, if you were born in a family that never neglected you or caused you any trauma, then you were extremely fortunate and lucky. However, I think anybody that watches my fucking videos, they weren't raised in that family. You were raised in a family where you were neglected, or you were abused, or you were controlled. And now you watch my videos, and you're like, well, this guy's a little fucking deranged, but at least he gets it. That ambulance agrees with that one. I think you should read my book, man. I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking about something I said to my friend Sarah yesterday. And then it made me think of a chapter in my book this morning. And I was like, that was really, really beautiful what I said in that chapter. And I think a lot of people would love to read that. These videos are they're very raw, and they're very truthful. But I rarely become suicidal in these videos. Because when I'm making these videos, I'm looking at rabbits. I was just looking at a rabbit a couple of seconds ago. When I was talking about existence, it was eating grass right next to mine. And now it's jumping on the sidewalk. I love rabbits so much, man. I fucking love rabbits so much. There's this bunny island in Japan where all these bunnies just jump around. There's like thousands of bunnies on this fucking island. And there's like a YouTube video. Like, you just have to type in like Bunny Island Japan or some shit like that, and it'll pop up. And there's this one Japanese girl, and there's just thousands of bunnies just jumping after her. It's so cute, man. God, I fucking love bunnies. I think the reason why I love bunnies so much is because, you know, if I were to choose a bunny that has gone through my life, you know, the neglect, the abuse, the trauma, the, you know, the controlling shit, and, you know, the predators coming after it, like the hawk and shit, like, it would be the bunny. I would be a bunny for sure. Like, so that, I think that's the one animal I connect with the most. And I love ducks. And for some weird reason, jumping spiders love to spend time with me. Something about jumping spiders is very weird. I don't know if you have like an animal that you're very close to, or that you feel like, you know, I don't want to say spirit animal, that's kind of weird, but yeah, or just kind of played out, I guess you could say. It's not weird, it's just played out. But yeah, guys, I hope you're having a great day, man. I'll end the video there. But yeah, the book that I was just talking about, it's only a fucking $1. You know, I mean, it's like on Amazon. I know some people really don't want to like go online and buy things online because they think like, you know, the internet is evil and controlled by the government and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, man, I hope you're having a great day. You know, and I know that sometimes I like go off on tangents about how I want to like murder people. But again, like I said, you know, 10 minutes ago, that's just one of those personalities that I created over time. Coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms, and my biggest weakness, my all-time biggest weakness in this world is I'm way too hard on other people, and I'm way too hard on myself. And there's a reason for that. But that is the one thing I really have to fucking change about myself. I gotta stop being so hard on people. And I gotta stop being so hard on myself. Proper way to heal, man. Alright, guys, I love you so much. Thank you very much for everything. I really hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a good weekend. And Video number 95. 95. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. And Mickey rules. What? Take care, guys. Love you.